with machine minds and machine hearts.
And now, Reality Rants with Jason Bermas.
And who loves you? And who do you love?
And I love this guy right here. It's John Fitch. This is Mixed Martial Mindset. Fitch, that's the new intro for the show.
Liking it, digging it.
You know, I might have to clean it up a little bit. Here's the thing. So all the beats in the background, right? There's this album out there from 2008 when I would say that Nine Inch Nails had a spine and Trent Reznor was on the correct side of history. He put out that whole album that was basically about a future police state, survivalism in the video. It was about biological warfare.
Now they're a part of the police state. Rage Against the Machine became Rage for the Machine.
Exactly, unfortunately. But at one point, it's sad. They put out this album called Ghosts, and it was 36 tracks, and it was really more like background music, right? Stuff like that. So that's actually 3 of those tracks, and it was supposed to have a Creative Commons license. And I'd used it for about, I don't know, a dozen or so shows over the past couple of weeks, and not had a problem with it. And then just last night, when I did my Dave Chappelle broadcast, okay, I got a copyright strike on it, and it's from like the Null Corporation, which is the corporation they started for like this whole underground album thing, but it's a real thing, and I'm just like, come on, Trent. I mean, seriously. I mean, it's not like I'm monetized on YouTube anyway, but I spent a little bit of time putting that together, and now am I gonna have to find other beats to mix something else with? You know, give a guy a break. You know, we might disagree on a lot of things these days, Trent, but we used to agree.
At least be willing to have the conversation.
Yeah, come on. A lot going on in the world. We're going to talk about Ron DeSantis and Donald Trump, and really I don't want to focus on it because it's kind of a distraction, but it's what the media is pitching, especially in light of there being, guess what, John? No red wave. It's weird how that didn't happen. Huh?
Well, when your voting system is banana republic, that you don't find out the results of the election on the same day of the election, what do you expect? What do you expect ever is going to happen? That's the most untrustworthy thing you could ever have. I mean, somebody tweeted a thing today about, I retweeted it. It was the New York Times was making a big deal about how crazy it is to not know the results of the election on the same day. That was like 2016. They put that out.
Well, here's the thing.
Now they grease you up. They get you all greased up and prepare you. It could take weeks. Could take weeks to count all the votes.
We're almost a week. We're almost a week in, and people don't understand. There's a few high-profile ones we're seeing, but there's over 20 of these right now, folks.
There's BS. It's a lie. I'm sorry. It is not a safe and secure, trustworthy voting system. If you cannot do it all in one day, it's garbage. 100% garbage.
I'll say this.
With all the technology, with all the resources, with everything we have today, the ease at which people can get to a voting place, it's garbage. 100% garbage.
I just want to see one person, one vote, in person, with identification, on a paper ballot, counted by a human being, checked by another human being, and broadcast.
If you were okay with making a person show ID and vaccine passport to get a Big Mac, then they can show ID to vote.
And we can set up a system that's transparent and is extremely hard to corrupt. These systems, for a very long time, we're not just talking about 2022. We're not just talking about 2020. I'm talking 2016. I'm talking 2012. I'm going all the way back to 2004 when it was Bush versus Kerry. And there's a lot of evidence to suggest that John Kerry won that election because George Bush wasn't very popular. For those that are new to the political game, there was a huge backlash there. And really, at first, it seemed like, hey, we're getting behind Howard Dean. Howard Dean's going to be the guy. And then all of a sudden,
wow.
How
did that? Oh my God! Like the president showed a little bit of enthusiasm, or the candidate that showed a little bit of enthusiasm, and that was enough to disqualify him.
Well, I'm going to bring it up right now, John. But describe to the people what happened to poor Howard Dean.
He was at was the Iowa caucus or something like that, and I don't remember where he was, but he was giving a speech, and they were talking about winning, and we're going to Iowa, we're going to New York, we're going to blah blah, and then at the end of it, he goes, ah, and that was it. And it was like he was pumped up. It was good to see. I wasn't a fan of him. I wasn't wanting to pick him for a winner, but like that was the best thing I saw out of him. I saw some actual humanity. I saw some humanity in him.
Well, we've got the clip. Let's see if we can go to it. Here it comes. Howard Dean.
You know something? If you had told us 1 year ago that we were going to come in third in Iowa, we would have given anything for that. And you know something? Not only are we going to New Hampshire, Tom Harkin, we're going to South Carolina and Oklahoma and Arizona and North Dakota and New Mexico. And we're going to California and Texas and New York. And we're going to South Dakota and Oregon and Washington and Michigan. And then we're going to Washington, D.C. to take back the White House.
I love it.
Oh, man.
That was the best. That was the best thing he did the entire campaign. And people poo-pooed on him.
I mean, seriously, think about how corrupt the media was even then. That's 18 years ago, right? That. And I'm not saying Howard Dean's a good guy, but that essentially destroyed his front runner status, and they started pushing Kerry exclusively, and they acted like that was an unhinged speech. Like you said, that's nothing. I mean, who doesn't have that moment? I've squealed like a pig. Like, so what? You know what I mean? It's so bizarre. And then John Kerry is now out in Copenhagen with Joe Biden. Did you see him walking around in the Cambodian shirts with
I saw Trudeau in a shirt.
Bro, they got Biden walking next to him, and Biden doesn't even know where he is. He's got this Cambodian shirt on too. And Klaus is
in my pajamas and the sun's out.
He has no, we're going to play that clip next because that's the show. So
Dementia Joe's fine, but Howard Dean excited? Nope. You need to do that meme with Drake.
Yeah. Get him back to the purpose of me bringing up John Kerry in 2004 and Howard Dean in particular is because they started pushing John Kerry. And the country hated Bush and this idea of the Iraq war so much. People killed
1 million people. Killed over 1 million people over lies.
Oh, and not only that, beforehand, let's not act like there wasn't a huge resistance. The 9/11 truth movement was starting to come up, and outside of that, you had, for instance, Michael Moore doing a video with System of a Down for Boom, which was a massive show of the anti-Iraq protests. We could watch that. Maybe on the uncensored part of the broadcast, but we'll get a copyright strike on YouTube just to show it to you with no sound, I guarantee it. But they were showing all these protests that were going around the world before Operation Shock and Awe. This was a real thing. So John Kerry,
mission accomplished,
100% in my mind, threw that election on purpose. These guys were both Yale buddies, Skull and Bones buddies.
Skull and Bones. I finished the Pentaveret.
Oh, did you? How about that transhumanist ending, huh? Not to get off too much topic.
Oh man, yep. He gets absorbed into the network.
Isn't it that the most bizarre aspect of that whole show? Because they go with all the conspiracy theories right throughout. They kind of poke fun at everything.
They drop them in there.
Yeah,
so I followed all of them, even the QAnon, and that turned out to be fake. That was hilarious.
Dude, I mean, even when the quote unquote crazy character falls down the well, right? Takes what's his name, like the Robert Maxwell character down the well, and he's like, "What about her emails?" Like that's a jab. Those emails are real.
But that's real. Yeah, it's real though. How is that not a real thing? How do you just play it off? Somebody broke the law severely.
And that's
you're
the
just
problem.
Like,
I mean, super broke the law.
It's not a big deal.
Again, listen, I can poke fun at myself. I like comedy. I like humor. But at the end of the day, you know, I'm good. Big spoiler alert if you haven't seen it, but I want people to watch the Pentaveret. I think honestly, it's the funniest thing that Mike Myers has done since the Austin Powers series. Like it's
there's not a lot of good stuff that's coming out now.
No.
I did actually watch Black Adam with the
Oh yeah, how is it?
It was excellent. I was super surprised. I begrudgingly went to it because my girlfriend, she doesn't like The Rock. She's not a fan of the mineral. Right. So she was getting dragged to it with like, okay, whatever. My parents were in town. We wanted to see a movie, but there wasn't anything. There was nothing. There was nothing else to see. I was like, well, let's just go to see Black Adam. Why not? It's The Rock. Who cares?
Yeah.
And you know, it was not very woke. There was a few things mentioned, but not bad. Only a couple cringes in there and the whole thing. It was actually a really good story. I liked it.
Okay.
I mean, it's a total little boy movie, but like, it was cool.
Well, I'll tell you what, I didn't hate Shazam. You know, kind of like the precursor.
I love the first one. I love Shazam. I thought that one. Boys saw it twice.
Yeah, I thought it was actually pretty fun, pretty well done. Good story, start to end. Set up for Black Adam.
Like, yeah, it was fun.
I'm with you, man. Listen, I'm down for entertainment at times, right? We got to be able to have that certain thing. But with all this, you know, bizarreness going on, where John Kerry is actually running more of the country at this point, right? After throwing that election, that's really where we're at. And look, it's holiday season, everybody. Oh, by the way, they're gouging everybody. Have you seen this? They're not going to run more flights. A New York to LA flight, holiday season during Christmas, you book it right now, is $1,000 or more. $1,000 or more. They're not playing around. You don't think they're going to try to restrict your movement, folks? That's what's coming next. That's what this COP27 is. And check this story out, Fitch. And we'll get to.
Well, we got to touch a little bit on the. I don't know if you had plans on it, but the FTX situation.
Oh yeah. Well, where do you think
that could be a government staged thing also?
Well, have you heard what the conspiracy theory is?
Well, there's ties between the guy, the young guy who's running it, and donating $50 million to the Democratic Party. There's evidence of them in money in Ukraine, so it sounds like there's some kind of money laundering and stuff going on. I'm not real sure. They're talking about MK Ultra, and that main guy was a part of MK Ultra.
What?
Possibly.
I didn't see that.
It could be complete QAnon type nonsense, but I did see that on a couple of threads that I've been looking at.
Okay. I'd have to look at that.
Some link with that. I can't remember what the guy's name, but the top guy who's at the center of all this, he may have been like an MK Ultra guy. And then they're saying that could be a whole staged government thing because they want to shake everybody's confidence in Bitcoin and crypto so that everybody welcomely goes to the central bank digital currency.
So that's a slight variation from what I'm seeing. And I want to make this extremely clear. I'm not making any accusations. I'm telling you what I'm reading. And
just hearing rumors in the rumor mill, scuttlebutt. It's just scuttlebutt.
I mean,
we need the dust to settle a little more.
I'm going to tell everybody right now, I haven't looked at this enough. I like John, I've seen some threads. Okay. So here's my take on what seems to be going on. From what I'm seeing, this guy supposedly pledged $1 billion to the Democratic Party and these other NGOs. Apparently, I don't know whether that's true or not, but that was kind of the deal that was made behind the scenes. And he only gave, I didn't hear 50, I heard $40 million in donations. Now, there's the one angle that you could say, well, he didn't pay his cut to the cartel, and they set a certain number, and that wasn't going to cut it, and they decided to destroy him for it. You know, because, as you know, John, all these markets, essentially, especially when you're talking about digital zeros and ones, can be manipulated. Even the stock market, obviously, has been manipulated openly, and the gamer deal where they were able to boost up certain stocks and movie theater stocks shows you the system can be gamed. The same is true in crypto. So there's that angle. Maybe he didn't pay the cut. Let's do him in. Okay. Now there's also the other angle that people got too greedy within the system. It became too much of a Ponzi scheme. And a group of those people just decided to cut out, and they didn't really want to burn this guy, but at the same time, they weren't going to take the losses once they saw where the exchange was going. That's totally possible. Any way you look at it, it's going to be more regulation, okay, on, like you said, the crypto market and a movement towards CBDCs and blockchain technology that's instituted by government organizations, probably backed by the United Nations, right, at this point, or the IMF or another global, or the World Bank, etc. Those type of organizations, I think, are going to be at the core. Here's a hot take that I watched.
Yeah, real quick. I like things in order to save them on Twitter because it puts it in the like folder or whatever thing,
Sure.
so I can go back and look at it later. There was a big long thread on the FTX situation that I liked, and it's gone. It's no longer in my liked folder. It's no longer there. I was going to look for that guy's name.
Wait a minute, bro.
Here.
I thought you just told me that Elon Musk saved Twitter, bro. You're telling me there might be some
It's been nuked. It's been nuked. It is not. That thread is no longer here. This is bizarre. Wow.
Well, I'll tell you what. So here's a hot take I watched yesterday on the subject. Andrew Tate, love him or hate him or whatever, he's all over the internet. And I saw he was saying something about the FTX guy. And I know that, he's a traveler. He's got money. He's been around pretty rich people. Let's see what he's got to say about this. He said something really interesting.
I found it. Okay.
Oh, you did find it?
Come
on, Fitch. What are you trying to do? You trying to spread disinformation?
I was scared, bro. I was like, what is happening? Real time getting me. All right.
So his take was this. He goes, you know what? After a certain amount of money, it's just a number. He goes, take it from me, somebody that's owned all these properties, travels the world, can get private jets, all sorts of cars. He goes, a lot of people are going to look at me and they're going to say that I'm the greedy one, I'm the selfish one. He's like, no, they got it twisted. He goes, I spend my money. I give my money to charities. I help other people with my money. I enjoy my money because I still have some money. And he's like, after a certain amount, it's just a number. It's a comfort. He goes, guys like that dress up in a T-shirt and they drive a Corolla and they live in some other like bunkhouse with people. He goes, that's the person that I'm worried about. And he goes, because every time I've met a person like that, they're hoarding their money and they're not concerned about those things. They're concerned about buying power and buying people and buying, basically political influence. And those are the people that you have to watch because they're not good people. And it really struck me, right away, I thought about the comparison to Warren Buffett because he's always sold to us as kids as, he's like the frugal billionaire, right? He lives in a modest home and he doesn't drive around in a big car and he has the ice cream cone, et cetera, et cetera.
Yeah, they have like, the no cap editing videos with all the stuff going on and fast cuts. And they're talking about, he's going to give this much money away this year and this much money away that year. And like, he's some kind of goody philanthropist. And it's all just fake. All these people who are pushing this like Jesus complex or whatever, it's God complex, trying to save the world. They're all phonies, 100% phonies.
Well, again, the interesting thing to me is even today, they're given a Bezos fluff piece. Have you seen this? The Bezos fluff piece.
He's going to give away this much money, blah, blah, blah.
I've got $12 billion. I'm going to give it all away before I die. Don't worry. And the hype was that he was given $100 million to the Dolly Parton Foundation. Now, guys, back in the day.
Dolly Parton is great.
But Dolly Parton.
And you know what? You know what's really the grossest thing about this, right? People are dumb. They think that him giving away billions of dollars is actually going to do more good than him using the billions of dollars to create more businesses that employ more people.
Well, here's the scam, man.
It's a scam. Like giving money away to charity doesn't do as much as like giving people a way to sustain themselves. It's not the same. Give a man a fish, he eats for a day, teach him how to fish. right?
But that's the thing, man. Think about what you just said. You used a keyword there. You used the keyword of sustain. You're right. Now, if you wanted a system to actually not only sustain, but encourage growth and life and a better standard of living, what would you do? You'd build infrastructure everywhere.
Yep.
Okay? And when I say infrastructure, I'm talking about running water, electrical grids, the infrastructure that these smaller places need, right? You wouldn't be pushing other things. We're on YouTube. We got to be we got to be real careful until we go to uncensored, but you wouldn't be pushing other things. Now, their version of sustainability is people like yourself and myself and billions of others that have become accustomed to a first world lifestyle is to degrade us and lower our standard of living as sustainable. It's all about, and that's what this COP 27 thing is. I had a part in my film Invisible Empire about COP 15, 12 years ago. Okay. And I know this is going to be hard to believe, John, but what if I told you now this Copenhagen thing's going on until the 18th. It's been going on a while. What if I told you that they decided that they were going to go to Mount Sinai, you know, the legendary place where Moses got the 10 Commandments, and they were going to say a massive prayer and ritual of repentance for their new climate change global religion on behalf of COP27. Mount Sinai preparing to host Global Climate Summit, a new global religion. And we read a lot of it this morning, but it's the real deal. But this year, there is a greater focus on extending an invitation to religious communities and religious leaders who are believed to have play a key role in addressing climate change and criminal justice, which requires a deep transformation within society. Interfaithsustain.com. The call for ceremonial repentance for failing the planet is consequently going to be front and center. So these people are bringing back a Gaia-esque religion and blaming human beings for basically destroying the earth. And in the paid portion of the broadcast, by the way, and you can listen to the whole broadcast over on Podbean from this morning, we played some of Joe Biden's stumbling speech from several days ago. It's tough to watch, dude. He can barely read off a prompter. In 10 minutes, easily stumbled a dozen plus times. He doesn't know where he is, and he's in a little dictator shirt. Here it is, Fitch. If you haven't seen it, it's not the best quality, but Jesus Christ. Look, he has no idea where he is. He doesn't know what's going on. Here's Joe Biden with dictator Trudeau and gang in fancy little Cambodian shirts. So look, he's like, what's going on? I can barely walk. Where am I? Okay, this guy's guiding me. Oh, this way. This way? Am I going this way? Thank you so much. Watch, he grabs the guy behind him. God love you. Thanks so much. Hey, all right. Thank you for telling me where to go. I have no idea what's going on.
He has no idea who's walking next to him either.
No clue. Like you would think that it's just like, hey, why wouldn't I just follow the guy who's supposedly leading Canada? Who's wearing a similar shirt to me? How sad is that, dude? How over the top, in your face, sad is that?
81 million votes.
He's number one. He did it. So, you know, that's actually a pretty good segue into these two stories and getting into Donny T and Ronnie D. I mean, this could be a face-off, guys, and I could care less. I'm not even really a huge DeSantis fan. He did the common sense things in his state. It's a large state. It got a lot of publicity. I like my governor much better.
Yeah, I mean, he's a governor of a tourist state. Of course, like that's death to shut it down. Mm-hmm. You'd have to be an idiot. You'd have to be an absolute idiot to shut that down. Like, nope, we're not going to make any money in this state at all. Like, no, it's not like they have industry, like tech industry, like California or something.
Mm-hmm. I mean, yeah, exactly. You can't work
the
from
stock
home.
market like New York. Like they don't have. You cut tourism. They're done.
So
they're done.
You look at this whole, you know, there was no red wave inside the MAGA heartlands. This is how they really don't want Trump to run. A lot of money's going behind DeSantis. And look at these people. They, of course, look, there it is. You made sure you
he's
got
too old. Come on, guys. He's old. I'm sorry. Let him be your cheerleader. Let him back on Twitter. But like, he's just too old. I don't want some geriatric president. It's stop.
Yeah, but he's gonna do it, man.
Stop.
It's not, unless he's being brought up on a criminal investigation, right? Like an actual one where they don't let him run, or he's just not here anymore. He is an older guy. You never know. Like things happen. There's no doubt now. Everybody's saying it. He's running. You know what I mean? He's saying it basically. He's taking shots at DeSantis, and I just want to show. Again, they bring in the Confederate flag. They find the Confederate flag family. They find the Seminole redneck pose here. But this, honestly, this is what you see across the country. Like that's the thing. You can deny it all you want, but he was insanely popular, and Dave Chappelle acknowledged that. Meanwhile,
I think a lot of it too is he's popular, but from a lot of people because he's an FU to the establishment, and he is somebody who gets so far under the left's skin. It's fun to watch.
Well, did you see Chappelle's opening monologue yet?
I didn't watch all of it, but I sent you a video on Twitter.
Yeah, I saw that. Hold on, I'll bring it up.
It's jokes. He's stolen jokes. He's stealing jokes.
Oh, it's Chappelle stealing jokes?
Yes, Chappelle's stealing jokes. He stole a number of jokes from Owen Benjamin.
Is that right?
Yes, and the video that I sent you is Owen Benjamin video of him telling the joke in like 2018, and then Dave Chappelle side by side telling it in 2022. And everybody praises Dave Chappelle for saying the joke. But when Owen Benjamin said it in 2018, he got banned everywhere, taken off of every platform. You have to dig real deep in the internet to try to find him.
Well, he's on Rockfin again. You know that I think, remember, he got banned off of Rockfin, and then I guess he had Martin on the show, and then Martin addressed it. And I guess as of like 2, maybe even 3 weeks ago now, he is back on Rockfin. I've got the clip up.
And I'm not saying that I'm all 100%. Owen Benjamin's right about everything, but let him speak.
This joke isn't going to get me kicked off of YouTube, is it?
It should. I think it's like the LBG whatever one. We might have L's. The L's are cool. Everybody likes the L's.
We might save that for the spicy end of the broadcast. I think that's what we're gonna have to do.
Oh, it was the Jenner one. It was like what's her name? Jenner won the Woman of the Year, and she wasn't even a woman for a whole year.
Oh, okay. Oh, okay.
He told that joke in 2018.
Mm-hmm.
Chappelle stole it and reused it in 2022, and everybody thought it was the greatest.
You know what? Maybe we should just get off of YouTube right now and then we'll play it. I think that's what we're gonna do. Folks, I love you over on YouTube, but there's just so many restrictions. I can't afford another strike. I do want to let everybody know that you can come over 8 a.m. to 10 a.m. across my platforms or at redvoicemedia.com. And from 8 to 9, it's totally free. We've had great guests. We had Patrick Byrne on. Again, we're talking about elections, things that you can't say on YouTube or you get banned. That's on the premium section. Today, the 2 weeks ago premium second hour has been released. You can support me there. You can support me on Rockfin. You can support John over at johnfitch.net. John, what do you got going on over there?
I have a Learn to Fight video up on YouTube today. All those go up on Rockfin. Rockfin doesn't take my videos down. I had a great John Fitch Knows Nothing last night where I got to talk about the Adesanya fights and the other 2 UFC 281 fights in depth. I've got Fitch Pilled videos coming on Thursdays on Rockfin and YouTube until YouTube kicks me off. But yeah, I got a lot of stuff going on. Sign up for the newsletter and check out my programs. I also have a new Learn to Fight class that I'm going to start doing here in San Jose on Tuesday and Thursday nights. Starts tomorrow night. Fighting is fighting. The objectives change, but the fight is still the fight. The techniques and how you apply things are the same.
So, on top of us going over here, I do want to remind everybody, if you are a Rockfin subscriber to John, myself, or anybody over there, Please come over, watch it over on Rockfin. But otherwise, you can catch this right now live over on Twitter and Rumble. If you're not subscribed over on Rumble, that's another great place to subscribe because we're growing over there.